What determines the price elasticity of demand? How sensitive consumers are to the price they're charged for a particular good or service. There are two general determinants. One involves how many substitutes are available for that good or service. And as a rule of thumb, the more substitutes and the better the substitutes, the more elastic or the higher the price elasticity of demand will be. Consumers have more things to run to, the more options they have. So let's say we're producing a particular car, like a BMW. The more other luxury cars there are, and the higher the quality, everything else equal of those cars, when BMW tries to raise its price, it'll be easier for prospective BMW customers to run to those other brands. As a corollary to that, the more narrowly we define a good, the greater its price elasticity of demand. Let's say we compare the price elasticity of demand for all cars relative to BMW cars. The price elasticity of demand for BMW cars, as you guessed, is going to be higher because as we narrow the set, we leave more potential alternatives on the outside. Now, if just BMW raises its price, consumers can look outside that narrower set to Mercedes-Benz, to Lexus, and to other types of transportation. Whereas if we were estimating the price elasticity of demand for all cars and broaden the set, we leave fewer things on the outside for people to run to when the price is raised. So that's one factor, the availability and the closeness of substitutes. The second determinant is the amount of time consumers have to shop for a good. And to drive home this point, if you've ever shopped as Valentine's Day approaches, a gift for your sweetheart, how sensitive you are to the price lessens the closer Valentine's Day is. When it's on the eve of Valentine's or the morning of Valentine's, you will basically pay any price to get that gift. You're much more price sensitive when it's 2 weeks prior. What does time do? Time gives you the ability to shop for greater substitutes. So it's, in a sense, a corollary to the first determinant, but time in an important way shapes the price elasticity of demand. The next PowerPoint page, page 14, shows you certain estimated short-run and long-run price elasticities of demand. Importantly, each of these estimated elasticities, and they're all calculated in absolute value terms, support the law of demand. When the price of a good goes up, quantity demanded goes down. When the price goes down, quantity demanded goes up. The extent to which customers run, in general, is greater in the long run when you give them more time to run away from a price increase than it is in the short run. In a few other interesting notes, physician services. We often think that consumers are pretty insensitive to the price that's paid for medical care. However, the leading estimates indicate that there is some sensitivity on the order of 0.6. And what that means is if the prices of medical care went up 10%, the quantity demanded of those services would go down by 60%. A challenge nowadays in regulating healthcare markets is when we remove the incentive, the percentage of the payments that come directly out of consumers' pockets for medical care, it cuts into this sensitivity. Their own ability to make decisions of how much healthcare to buy relative to other products. When it comes out of a third-party pocket, whether it's an insurance company or Medicare or Medicaid, that incentive is dramatically attenuated. The difference between long-run and short-run elasticities also differs across products. Take the case of electricity. Short-run elasticity is 0.1. For each 10% increase in price, quantity demand at short run doesn't change by much, only goes down by 1%. However, in the long run, giving consumers enough time, that same 10% sustained increase in price results in a 19% decrease in quantity demanded. Why a more pronounced effect? There are certain goods like electricity that we have to change the house we live in, the particular set of appliances that we have to fully take into account the reaction to that same 10% increase in price of electricity. Similar phenomenon we find with energy costs, responsiveness to an increase in the price of gasoline. Short run, there's very minimal effect, but then give consumers enough time to change the kind of cars they own, where they live relative to their place of work. Then they become much more sensitive to a sustained price increase than they'll evidence in the short run. So in summary, the number and availability of substitutes and the time consumers have are the two critical determinants of price elasticity of demand.